it's recording now.
Recording is on.
There you go.
Recording is on.
I don't know why there's a delay in that, but anyway. I'm going to jump in. I have I drew up an agenda for the meeting tonight. Chat about that for a few minutes. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things, the first item there you see is an idea I wanted to kind of kick around with you guys. This actually came from Thomas, and it's the idea of having county captains. Now, most of you are in areas where maybe you only have one county, or you have some of your areas there are multiple house districts in one county. But where Thomas is and where a lot of the state is, there are multiple counties within one house district, and obviously as many or more in various Senate districts. And so kind of had the idea of potentially having a county captain rather than a captain for a house district. And the thinking of this is that you probably heard the saying, all politics are local.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are very plugged into their local, county, what's going on, the county commissioners, the county government that sets their, property taxes, so forth, city government, the schools, all those kinds of things that are very local. And so we're thinking that maybe it would make sense to, within a house district where there are several counties within that house district, it would make sense to say, try to find somebody to be county captain for that county rather than looking strictly at the house districts. Wondered if any of you guys have any thoughts about that. Good idea, bad idea?
Well, if all of Convention of States is organized on house districts, how do you define them in the system, or do you?
I had a brief back and forth with Brenda on this, and I think what they would do is we could just, within a particular county that was within a house district, we could assign somebody the role as a like district captain team, call them DC team members, and maybe there's going to be one person in one of the counties that would want to be the actual district captain, but would kind of feed information through the other counties.
Sure.
It is a challenge because Citizen Builder is set up by house district.
Right.
And so nationally, if they were to try to change that, would be a huge, huge challenge. And I think it only really makes sense in the past states, because in a non-pass state, their focus really has to be, and their focus is, on getting that legislation through their state legislature. And so what's happening county-wise is probably less important to them, less of interest to them. But the kind of feel like the past states, it might make sense. When I look at this in relation to one of the things that we're talking about on the statewide basis, we're calling the road to activism. A number of these items, like, library board, school board, city council, county council, block walking, some of those kinds of things, event coordinators, many of those things are really done very much locally. And so the idea that we want to be self-governing activists, and we really want to connect with and get a lot of people hopefully on board with connecting with their government. And we know we have more influence at a local level than we do at a state or national level. And so I don't know, do you guys think that's an idea that has merit, or is that just going to give us a bigger challenge trying to recruit, more volunteers than we already have?
This would be an additional position, right? You're not replacing a region captain or a district captain. You're actually creating another position.
Right.
Well, I guess at this point in time, at least from my vantage point, we don't have enough district captains, much less a county captain.
And wouldn't a person from one, if they were a county captain, so to speak, wouldn't they have to touch base with two different district captains, possibly?
Potentially.
Yes.
Really, like for Larry and for Susan, you guys are more
clean.
likely to have multiple house districts in one county. So you might not even have any interest in doing this. But what I'm thinking is when you get into rural areas where there are parts of 2, 3, 4, 5 counties in one house district, that's where it would really make sense. It probably doesn't make sense in the more urban areas because frequently there's multiple house districts within a single county.
Mm-hmm.
But in rural areas is where I was really thinking it would be potentially useful.
People are.
I went to a training thing within the last 6 months, Gary, where they were talking about the same thing in reverse. So for like Sue's area, they were recommending that they had, if you wanted to spread things out, that you would call town captains. So if she had, 3 or 4 cities or whatever in her area, then you could have a town captain in each one as you're developing your network within your district. And so it's kind of the same thing. It looks like they're already doing it in places.
Interesting. Are they doing that in some other states within COS? Is that what you're saying, Dale?
Yeah, because it was suggested during one of the trainings. So,
Oh,
it came from one of those guys, Jason or, somebody that was doing one of those.
okay.
Oh, there you go. Precinct captains.
A precinct.
It gets pretty small.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of town captains too in some of the, counties where you've got, or within a house district where you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 different towns where you have an organized government within those separate towns. To have a town captain who's really on top of what's going on in the local politics. Right. I think that's the thinking, really.
Yeah. People are used to knowing what their town or their county does and what the rules are in that county, and they may be a little uncomfortable in another person's town or county regulations.
Yeah.
Well, a district captain could have town captains or precinct captains. That would make sense, but they would just be a part of his team or her team.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's be thinking about that in terms of, there's nothing official yet. We're going to talk about it, I think, on our staff call later tonight and, see what Brenda thinks about that. But we would probably just be using the existing Citizen Builder framework. So we might not be able to use, the title county captain or city captain or something like that. But we could probably just put people on the DC team and make note in our own notes or what we have in Citizen Builder that their real focus is that town or that county. Because I think it has some merit. We want to get more people plugged in. And a lot of people are not comfortable thinking about going to the state house and lobbying their state rep or their state senator. So maybe this would be another way to get more people actively involved by giving them a geographically smaller area and an area that they're really more connected to.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other thoughts about that? If not, I want to talk a little bit about the next state call. Since we moved these to the second Wednesday, that's going to be coming up September the 14th. And I'm hoping that all of you will try to get all of your district captains. I called it the state call, but it's really, I don't know if we've come up with a new name, but it's more of a leadership forum where we want to have more open discussion than what we've traditionally had on our state calls in the past. And so I'd like to try to get all the district captains to come on this. Anybody that's a volunteer activist or district captain team, I would invite those people and ask them to come on and, be part of the discussion. And even if they're quiet and just sit and listen, that's fine. They don't have to speak up. Love it if they would speak up and participate in the discussions. But if not, at least have them tune in and let people know that we changed the format of these state calls to really open it up for discussion for them, district captains, volunteer activists, DC team members, to have the opportunity to have input and discussions instead of just them, listening to people on the state leadership team talk. So hopefully I'd like to see us try to get 40 people on there. I don't know if that'll happen, but
Gary, that's anybody with a leader or with a role in the system, right? That can be invited.
yes. Yeah, and I think that traditionally for a long time we were only inviting district captains and above, but really this is a way to get more people plugged in and to become activists, to have them feel like they're on the inside, they're not on the outside looking in, but they're part of the inside group, part of the inside team, and they can throw out their ideas and so forth and participate in the discussion, or at least learn more about what's going on with the local leaders and not just the people at the state level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I think that last leadership forum, or whatever you want to call it, really brought out or really give the opportunity for people to do that. I think that's a good thing. We just want to try to get more people on to participate and find out how the new format works, and hopefully more people will participate. Any other questions, comments about that?
I think if they get on, if we can get them on, I think that they'll be more apt to get on for other meetings as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, all
Gary,
of us.
I'm not sure we send out those invitations via Slack, but I still kind of have the feeling that we've got a lot of people out there that aren't really paying that much attention to Slack yet. And so we may want to make some phone calls or send out emails or something that's
Right.
that's slightly different, just so people get the invitation.
Okay, good idea. Let me talk to Rick Lyon. I know he's done some, or maybe I can even do that. Just shoot out an email blast or a text blast to invite people to come to that. yeah, we do need to get those invitations in the hands of more people. That's a good point. Next item I want to chat about for a minute is the state leadership meeting, state planning meeting. It's coming up in September. I should have the date on here and I don't, but
I think it's the 17th, isn't it?
that's what I was going to say. September 17th. I think that's it. Let me just add that.
That's a Saturday.
Yes.
And that's the one that'll be down in Anderson. It is also going to be made available through Zoom, so people who can't come in person can attend through Zoom. Hopefully all of you will be able to be there in person. It's a great opportunity and one of the few opportunities during the year really to meet with other people face to face. So yeah, would encourage you to come and encourage any of your district captains. And if you have somebody else that has a role, whether they're a DC team or a volunteer activist, if you think somebody has interest in attending, invite them down, because the way they might want to become more active and more involved is, feeling like they're on the inside and they can have something to contribute to the organization. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to bring up is that we're thinking of having a panel discussion with the region captains. So we're going to set all of you region captains up there and kind of have a little roundtable discussion among the region captains is what we're thinking. Talk about, so we'd be asking, what worked really well for you in the past year, or the recent months, or what do you feel like you had a good accomplishment in the recent months. We'll probably ask a question about what did you try that didn't work, and why do you think maybe something else did not work well, and then what lessons were learned from that other people, other region captains, what can district captains learn from this experience. So it kind of ties into the idea of act, learn, adjust. That if you've been through servant leadership, you're familiar with that one. So learn about what worked, what didn't work, and then what lessons did we learn? How can we apply that to do better in the future? That is the thinking right now as to what that panel discussion will be. I think it's probably going to be maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I don't know how long it'll go on, but would like each of you to be thinking about those kinds of things that you might want to participate in the discussion by talking about some of those areas for yourself from the past year.
And this is a Zoom meeting as well?
It will be available in Zoom. Yeah. Yeah. The plan right now calls for, I think, state leadership folks to get there at around 8 o'clock to set up, which means for some of you leaving home pretty early in the morning. From 8:30 to 9, kind of have time for people to have a cup of coffee, chat with each other, and renew acquaintances, build relationships. Then at 9 o'clock, the formal meeting part will start. We want to try to be done by 2 or 3 in the afternoon, maybe earlier, depending on, if we get through things quickly, so that, you have a little bit of your day left to either drive home or maybe do something else. Any thoughts about that?
I like it better when we go a little later, like 10 o'clock instead of 4.
I will, I'll kick that idea around and see what people think about that. That work better for you, 10 to 4?
Yeah, it would for me, and I'm sure if I get my district captains to go, we're all going to have to meet in the morning and drive, and I've got some that won't go that early.
Okay. How about you guys up in Chicago land? That means really early for you, right?
I'm an early bird. I like early, but
Oh, okay.
I'm different.
Okay.
I could do
Well,
early. I could do early. I don't know about anybody else.
okay. We'll talk about that on our staff call tonight. As far as the panel discussion, be thinking about that. If you have some feedback you want to give me, either next week's region captain call, or if you want to contact me privately and have a chat about it, that's fine. Either way is great. Looking at the leadership management tool, I see we've got 3 people that probably be knocked down to 2 who are district captain applicants. There are 9 people who are volunteer activist applicants. And let me see, pull that up. That are open or in process. Remember that if somebody who applies to be a volunteer activist is within a House district where you have a district captain, you should try to connect that volunteer activist with that district captain. If there is not a district captain, then you want to, as a region captain, those people will be assigned to you. You can either try to see if they are a leader type person that might be a district captain, or, figure out a plan for using them. In any case, once they're on there, we want to get them either, rejected or assigned. We don't want them to stay there for, hanging in limbo forever. Right now, I see on Citizen Builder, we have 20 assigned district captains. We have 33 people assigned as district captain team. So we've got a lot of people on the team that I think some of those are just in training. You can take a look at that. People are in training. We want to make sure we try to keep moving and get through that. Other people that are on DC team, you should try to connect with them. If they want to be active, make sure you're using them for events. Try to get them, connected, get them to come to the state call, state leader forum. We have an event coming up on September the 10th in Grable, little town near Fort Wayne, that anybody that wants to come and participate in the parade is welcome to. We're going to have a float in the parade. We've got about 1,000 miniature American flags to pass out, along with COS, like literature and stuff. So, love to have you, anybody that is available to come and participate in that.
Where is Grable?
It's in the town of Grable, which is like a little bit north and east of Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne. Okay.
Yeah, very, very small town. But this festival lasts Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And they claim that like 100,000 people come to this festival over those 3 days. So I guess half of Fort Wayne must go there every year. I'll have to go Thursday or Friday because I have a commitment to be out of town on Saturday. But yeah, it's a big deal in that town and kind of the surrounding area. It was originally started, I'm told, by the father of our former congressman, Mark Souter. And so it's been a tradition. This is actually the 50th year they've had this
Wow.
Grable Town Festival. So it's been around a long time. Lots of people come to it. So anybody else have questions, comments, ideas? What do you want to talk about?
So,
I
hey,
got
Gary.
something. Go ahead, Larry.
Well, the list of volunteer activists, should I add all those people to the training spreadsheet, or is that passe for right now, or are these people fully trained? I don't know what their status is.
I think the ones who are assigned as volunteer activists talk to the region captain or district captain and find out where they are. We'd like to get them to go through the training. Dale, have you been talking to them?
Yeah, I would guess that most over 50% of the people that I've talked to have not received any training from like the menu of volunteer activist activities that National's using now. I would say that most people have not done that.
Okay.
I don't even know how long that sheet's been available.
Yeah, I don't either.
We had other training sheets before that one that I was using for my volunteers.
Yeah. So it's really up to the region captain to determine if they're considered trained or if they need to be put on a sheet, and then they can go through the one that Larry just remade.
I only have one person that should go on that new sheet. She's been picking up whatever she can get into in COS University and taking some classes there, but that's all she's done. But she's already worked the information tables and picked up a lot of stuff, so she's doing pretty good.
What's her name, Vicki?
Carla Bohr. She worked with me up in Bluffton at the Wells County 4-H fair.
How do you spell her last name? I'll put her on the sheet.
Borror.
Hey, Vicki, is Larry Long still kind of around as a volunteer activist?
He hasn't been showing up. He gets invited to the meetings and stuff, and he has shown up to a couple of them, but I haven't seen him lately. He's not responding.
I was thinking maybe he'd be somebody to suggest he take that volunteer activist training and maybe we can get him more involved that way.
Okay. He's kind of wishy-washy. I don't know. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Just let me know.
Okay. What I was going to say is next Monday there is no class because they already had the 4 for this month.
Oh,
So I need to pick up 1 or 2 starting next month. So I don't know how you want to do our meetings on Tuesday. If you want to just leave them there for a while, or if anybody else is doing those classes.
let's leave it on Tuesday for right now. So I think the Monday after that's going to be Labor Day, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I don't know what she's going to do.
5th or 6th.
Since that's a holiday, let's just stay with Tuesday for right now. So other thoughts, comments? Thomas, what's on your mind?
Gee whiz. Let's really talk about the southern portion of the state. You know, it's like talking about the Ozarks and stuff like that. You know, there are people down there that it's on our list that wants to be part of the movement, but don't ask them to get online. Don't ask them to come out and do that. They want to be part of. In fact, I'm going to mention the person's name. There's a woman down there by the name of Cheryl Parker. Now, the only reason why she became a volunteer activist is because her daughter gave her a phone and told her, "You will use it." Now, but she would not get online to take courses and stuff like that. It scares her. Better yet, Big Brother scares her. So
Probably for good reason. Well, we're going to keep looking for a strong leader for that part of the state, Thomas, but we'll find somebody down there, I think.
well, Cheryl is in next. No, just wait a minute. County over from Fran, and it's Fran's district. But
Okay.
that's when Fran was in Florida.
Okay. I need to call Fran anyway. Have you talked to Fran lately?
If you talk about maybe 100-character text from her, yeah,
Okay.
she does a good job of keeping me informed on what she's doing and what she wants to do and what type of time she's being consumed and everything. If she had a time clock, we would be seeing them time cards.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary, I actually spent about 20 minutes on the phone with her today.
Oh, you did? Good.
Yep.
What's your thoughts?
Well, it's kind of like Thomas was saying. She's busier than a one-armed paper hanger. She's got a lot of stuff going on, and
Some of it is not cost related. Other is cost related, and sometimes she gets them confused in her communications with people.
yeah,
Okay.
she's got a lot of family issues currently that she's dealing with,
Okay.
health issues and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was remembering that from our earlier conversations.
I think she was the one I was talking to that said her mom just passed away in July.
Right.
Yes.
And then her husband is, I believe he may be even in a nursing home. He's got some severe health issues and, that they're trying to get worked through. So,
Oh yeah, he had COVID, and that did him a job.
yeah. And then she's also got a 15-year-old adopted son who's going to be a sophomore, I think, this year. And he of course, he requires some time as well. So,
Okay. Well, I think she's is an activist that we can have her be part of a team. If we can get a strong leader down there to kind of form a nucleus, she could be part of that nucleus. We just need a leader down there.
yeah, I think Gary, she's also one that she's posted some kind of unusual things on Slack.
Yeah. Did
Thomas?
you talk to her about that at all?
I did not.
Okay.
I thought that was better left to Thomas.
Hey, Toto wants to keep it just keep it on calls and nothing else. We don't want to see anything else on there. But like I said, Fran is the DC down there, and there's Cheryl Parker, and there's Kimberly Holloway,
Hmm.
which I think the two activists at one time.
Okay.
Do all those guys know each other, Thomas?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
they had a group meeting before Fran went to Florida.
Oh, good.
Not good it did, but hey, they did. They had a group meeting.
Okay. Well, let's try to continue with that. And if we can find somebody else that's particularly over closer to where New Albany is, where Joanne is, there's a bigger population center. We might get more people there. And Fran is kind of on the, right on the cusp between those two house districts. So she's in an awkward position as far as connecting with the people in New Albany in that area, I think, isn't she? Isn't she actually in like 74?
She's in House District 74.
Yeah.
Isn't forget I'm a little map confused here. Is New Albany on the east side here?
South, isn't it? Way
On the
south.
west side.
Yeah. The thing is with where she is, she's on the very eastern edge of House District 74. So she's geographically closer to that New Albany and that whole area that's that kind of urban area just north of Louisville, Kentucky, right? But the biggest part of her House District is all west of her. And so it's kind of an awkward situation where like to connect her with those people who are actually, and that's actually that line is a different region as well. So we could always move that house district, or maybe we just split it up and put half of it in a different region or something. We can't really do that with COS National the way they draw boundaries, but it would be better if that were possible. So I don't know. We'll have to figure out what to do with that.
Are any of those DC recruitment text blasts going down in that area?
Should be. I think that was one of the areas that I had Brenda send that. I'm hoping we'll get some people from that. I have not checked. We should ask Brenda if she's on the call later tonight, if she is, if those have gone out, because I haven't seen any results from it yet. So.
Yeah, because I think they were supposed to have gone out last Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If they were going to get results, one would think we could have seen them by now.
What was that, Gary?
There's some recruiting text blasts that they send out that if people click on a link within the text blast, it takes them to an application to become a district captain. And in some other states, they've sent it out to a couple of house districts and got, 10, 15 people apply to be district captain out of just a few house districts. So they were telling us, oh, you don't want to send this statewide or you might be overwhelmed with applicants. Well, so far we haven't been overwhelmed, but who knows?
This was a text blast?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was in Arizona where they had a huge response to it. And again, sometimes if something happens in a particular state, people are fired up about, bingo, it'll work. I would think this raid on Mar-a-Lago would have fired up a lot of people, but I haven't seen the results from the text blast indicating that it's made people want to join Convention of States.
Well, who in our area sent out this text blast?
Brenda sent it out on behalf of Indiana, and Dale and I gave her a list of about, was it 8 house districts we sent that to, Dale?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, he picked 4 and I picked 4. And maybe mine were more up in the northern part of the state now that I think about it, but maybe the next round I'll hit that region 11, region 12 area, see if we can get some more people down there.
Was this text blast posted somewhere?
Well, I can send
If
you.
I think it would be a nice idea if some were sent to House districts in whoever's region, that the region captain ought to know that text blast went.
I think if they're sent out by in the region, in the House district where you live, you should get a copy of it if it's sent to that district, because you're in it, you get text messages.
Well, I don't get text messages.
Well, that's right, you don't, but maybe we could have them send an email or something. I think I can send you what the text blast says, or I can just read it to you. Let me see. I can pull it up here. They might have made some changes in this, but let me.
Hey, Gary, I think I've got it. It was 7, 20, 5, 21, 13, 16, 64, and 75.
Okay.
What are those House districts?
Yes.
Say them again, Dale.
7, 20, 5, 21, 13, 16, 64, and 75.
There's none in my region.
Yeah,
But I like
70,
text blast.
64 and 75 are down in Region 11. And the other ones are pretty much up in the northern part of the state.
Yeah. 13, 16.
So, of course, I'm looking at the new map, so I'm probably all mixed up.
13 and 16 are Region 4,
Yeah,
Lafayette.
we are the last, at least past state. Maybe we're the last state totally to have our new House districts input into Citizen Builder. So we're still using the old House districts. Hopefully they'll get us caught up, and we'll be using the new districts soon. Once that happens, we'll have to go through all of our people who are assigned and see which House district and Senate district they're actually in. Whether they're district captains, you guys as region captains, although I pretty much know where all of you are going to be, but it's possible that some of your district captains may move from one House district to another. Same with DC teams, same with volunteer activists.
Yeah, I just sent out, I think it was to 6 different House districts, but they were in the original Region 5 for me.
Right.
I mean, that's all I can get in the district, the old House districts, if you will.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one you sent out to about 1,000 people?
Well, it was about 5,000 people.
5,000.
Well, it didn't go to 5,000, only went to 1,200. That's what I was sent to you, about a 25% receive rate there on the district dashboard.
We have a lot of people who have either opted out of text messages or they've not clicked through to verify their, receipt of text messages, I believe. So,
well, this was an email blast, and I'm assuming that it was a MailChimp fiasco, and whoever's not receiving emails anymore aren't going to until they apply to. I mean, I think it's the onus is on them now, not on us.
well, if we know that they are interested, we can ask them to opt into email blasts. I'm not sure how we do that. Larry, do you know is there a procedure for that, or?
Well, not really, but there's if you can get a hold of them, there's a form that they can fill out and send in, and that'll fix the MailChimp problem. But that's part of the problem, is getting a hold of them. So you're either gonna, I suppose, if they're reachable, you might have to call them, because I mean, if you send them an email,
They're not going to get it.
they may not answer, so.
Yeah.
Well, they won't get it.
Well, not the text blast, but a straight up email. And
Yeah.
that can be that could be kind of tedious.
When you do that, does it come back and let you know the ones that didn't actually receive it?
No.
It didn't tell me anything. All I got was, if you look at the, I think it's called the message analysis on the blast email, it'll tell you how many opens there were and then how many unique opens. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe somebody can help me. And the number of clicks, which I don't know what that means either.
Well, the number of unique opens is the number of people who opened it once. And the number of opens can be a person that opens it more than once. So,
But don't you usually get a report saying that one or more of your people didn't get their email? It wasn't viable email.
No.
Not that they didn't open it, but that they.
it doesn't, it doesn't show that down at the
Didn't
bottom.
show that. Not on the ones I sent. It was about out of the total number registered or listed in the House district, on the 6 House districts that I sent to, the average number that were actually sent an email was about 26% of the total listed. And then the number that opened it was, again, about 25% of that 25%.
Wow.
So it was a very, very small number.
Low. Mhm.
Very small.
Yeah. And what's sad about it too is the ones that I've sent out in the past, I've yet to receive a response from either an email blast or a text blast.
I didn't receive one response.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's why I would like to see that text blast, because I've never done a text blast, and I thought everybody has said those are much more effective than email blast. People are more attuned to reading a text than they are an email.
Yeah. I think Thomas had that meeting down in whatever that town was. And anyway, I sent out a text blast on that like 2 days before, and there were like 2 or 3 people who showed up because they got the text blast.
Oh.
And one of the ladies even said she really she doesn't look at email. And she only knew about it because of the text blast. And I think, I just today I went through a bunch of emails, most of which were 8 to 10 days old, because I had not gotten to them. I just wanted to clean them up, and I was checking out what was in there. And so, a lot of those related to something that's like, tune in today for this. Well, there's no point in reading that because obviously I missed it. And text messages tend to be read the same day they're sent, whereas email is just that's not the case with email. So, well, I'm going to wrap up. Dale and I have another meeting starting here in a few minutes, so I'm going to stop the recording. So if there's anything you want to